So this week, I don't know. I feel like we have a word. It isn't great. It's not terrible. I just wish there was a way to describe it.
There's always a way to describe it. You're just scared of it.
I don't think I'm scared of it. I just don't think I'm getting to it. Maybe I'm missing something.
Well, that's a long list. There's a lot of stuff you're missing. And thank God I'm here to help you out with that.
Yeah. Anyways, so I think that it's, mediocre sounds like the word that I would use for it, but darn it if that just doesn't sound like too many letters.
It is too many letters. But here on Hangout with your Slang Out, we can fix that.
Yeah, I think we can. So this week's word then, I guess, is med.
Is that right?
Isn't it? Didn't we just short mediocre?
We did, but I think we did that wrong.
Oh, wait. Then what's it supposed to be?
It's mid.
Oh, yeah. This week's word is mid.
So it just sounds like, because I know it's supposed to be like mediocre, like in the middle. That's why you would say mid.
Right. It's middle or below. Yeah, it's mediocre.
But I'm seeing stuff where it's also below that. Like if you call somebody a mid, you're putting them down. Like, hey, that guy sucks. Like, he's mid. He's lucky to be mid.
Well, yeah, but I think in that meaning, it's like the whole "if you're not first, you're last" statement. They're saying by being mid, what pride is there in being middle of the road? You either want to be cool as shit or you're hot garbage.
Yeah. This one gets used a lot too. I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
This is when you actually hear on TV.
3 letters.
Yeah. It's quick and to the point. It actually kind of means what they're trying to say, but I think it gets overused. It's like cap, where I find it kind of annoying.
Well,
it gets used.
Yeah, because not everything can possibly be mid.
The youth of today sure do make it sound like it can be.
Well, that's because they've used mid to encompass everything from middle on down.
That makes sense.
But there's like a lot of different words to express how cool something is. Mid on down can just be described as mid.
All right. So I don't like mid, but I'm going to try to stay middle with it and not get upset. I'll try not to be mad towards it, and I'll try not to get all happy about it.
No, I think you should still be mad towards it. But, whatever.
Yeah, right.
I digress.
The best thing about mid is it's easy to spell.
It is easy to spell. And it's funny. So Candace and I were driving here today. I finally remembered the story. We were driving here today, and she was watching a TikTok, and somebody was going over, there's these pages on Facebook that basically are we dating the same guy?
Okay.
And these girls will post a picture of this guy they're dating and be like, any red flags? Or they'll talk about the red flags that they had when they dated the person to kind of save other girls from making the same mistake.
So this is like if you got catfished or something.
It's not even really catfish. Like, they're real people.
That's crazy.
But they're just terrible people. And so the women air this out so that other women aren't subjected to such terrible people.
Okay.
But in this TikTok, this girl was making a point that she was on that site, and it would always be a picture of a really super, she said, mid person, average or below average person,
yeah,
photographically, where you could tell probably by looking at them that like maybe more than 0 people shouldn't be making this mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But it would always be the mistake they made, and then like 20 people commenting that they had also made the same mistake. And so she was using it as a way to sort of slam like female dating culture of like, what are we even doing here? Like, that we have to stoop this low, that we have to scrape the bottom of the barrel to try to find love.
So I have 2 thoughts. First off, I feel bad for women that you even have to have something like that, because goddamn, men are pigs. And secondly, so that means Candace, who is of our age, I mean, she's not my age. I'm old as F. She technically will use this term then.
I don't know if she's used the term, but it was her TikTok that we were listening to, and she does follow the "Are we dating the same guy?" Not because she's dating anybody else, just because she thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And to help any friends that she does have that are single so that if they come across a guy.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I haven't.
That's why you don't have any single friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I haven't actively heard her use the term mid.
Have you heard Tyla? I would figure Tyla would use it a
Probably.
lot.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, at her high school, everybody's mid.
Yeah.
And if everybody's mid, is anybody really mid?
Yeah. True.
These are the answers I need.
Well, you need a lot of answers, and I'll add that to the list. But man, that list is getting long.
Is that meant to be an insult?
No.
It sounded like an insult.
No, shh. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Let's bring it back to mid.
Okay.
So when you first heard mid, did you automatically go to like, oh, she's saying that it's mid-range, or did something else pop in your head? Like,
I don't know. I feel like, well, I mean, the prefix mid by nature means middle of the road or medium or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So it's like,
so they're
even if you use the
right
term,
then.
yeah, even if you use the term middling, like when somebody's doing a really average job of something, which is probably the way I heard it the first time. So it all checks. Yeah, I think just because of the prefix, it's hard to go any other direction with it.
So I'm just a giant ass nerd. So the first time I heard mid,
That doesn't mean his ass is large and he's a nerd. What
it means I
is
have a very smart ass, and it wears.
it means he's hella nerdy.
We've talked about the tattoo that's led to this because there's a lot of knowledge down there. But mid, first time I heard it, I don't know. I don't know why. I think of Middle Earth from Lord of the Rings.
Because nerd.
Yeah, because nerd. Hella nerd.
Was mid-earth just kind of average? Lots of not exciting things going on.
No, it's literally the middle of the earth. So,
Oh.
yeah. And then the second thing is because I've fallen down the rabbit hole of AI. The technology I use is called Mid Journey. So that's, if I hear the word mid, that's all I think about now. And I am its bitch.
Yes. I guess I'm not as big a nerd as you.
Would that make me a mid bitch?
Probably.
Right on. Hashtag mid bitch. Oh, new band name?
No.
No?
Hard pass.
Oh, come on.
That could be a new band nickname.
No,
Hard
just
pass.
think about it. We could tour as mid bitch, and we could have Lit and Highly Suspect open for us. They're totally mid.
They're definitely mid. They wish they were as high as mid.
I mean, Lit should just change their name to Mid.
Sure.
Yeah. So I brought up Middle Earth. How come you never got into Lord of the Rings?
I wasn't a fantasy nerd.
But isn't all like Star Wars is fantasy?
Sci-fi.
All right. Did you ever like?
Or even if you went as far as to say science fantasy, that's fine. I don't like people in huts fantasy. I don't like effing magicians fantasy.
So here's the thing. I think you're very well read and obviously smart, and that comes from people who usually actually read a little bit. Did I just spit on you?
No.
Okay, just checking, because I do that a lot as well. But yeah, I think you're well read, and just out of respect, I just appreciate that. I just assumed you would be a fan of Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like Game of Thrones. In fact, going back on it, if I went back and watched Lord of the Rings stuff, I would probably enjoy it. Just at the time when I was growing up, that side of fantasy did not intrigue me.
That makes sense.
I thought it was real mid.
Once you get into that, you fall hard though. At least those movies were done well.
And then
it's
I
some
think
of the
by
best.
extension you become mid.
Would I?
I mean, I would imagine that most girls would describe most guys that get into Lord of the Rings as mid.
I don't know. It's the year of the nerd, man. Or the decade of the nerd, right?
Is that what the nerds are telling you?
Because everything's nerd. It's nerd culture now, right? Geek culture.
Is it? If it was really geek culture, would we be doing an entire podcast on slang terms that nerds would never use because they wouldn't know how to use them?
Sure. Watch, our biggest episode will be one of the nerd terms.
No, I thought you were going to say our biggest group of fans would probably be the nerds because they're trying to learn these words so they sound cool around the cool people.
Ooh.
That's how you get them with trust.
Ooh. I like that. That's a whole percentage of listeners I hadn't even thought of. The lonely guy. Well, I guess it's not technically going to be all guys, but Yeah, it's going to be all guys. It's going to be all dudes.
The Lonely Island.
Mid dudes.
They're not mid.
They're lower than mid, right?
No, Lonely Island. They're great.
Mm.
You're not a Sandberg fan?
We've had this discussion, and no, I'm not.
Yeah, you're wrong. Well, I mean, you're not wrong about not being a fan. You're just wrong that you shouldn't be a fan.
Well, I don't hate him. I don't love him either. I've seen him do stuff that I actually like, and I've seen stuff that I find completely annoying. So he's full mid for me. Full mid.
What's annoying?
I hate. Well, like on Saturday Night Live, his skits either hit or he was like, just like grating, like annoying. Like just being loud doesn't make you funny. Does that make sense?
How do you think Jim Carrey made all that money? How do you think Will Ferrell made all that money?
Will Ferrell does it for being loud. Jim Carrey didn't do it for being loud. He was at least had a rubber face. Is there loudness in that? Yeah.
No, he happened to have a rubber face. He was loud.
Mm-hmm. Not the same way Andy Samberg is.
Okay.
Well, and like, what is his show? Brooklyn 999 or Reno 911 or whatever the hell that thing's
Brooklyn
called.
Nine-Nine.
Yeah, it's just a really bad version of Parks and Recs in The Office.
Agree to disagree.
It is. It's so bad.
No.
They need better actors on it.
First of all, it's nothing like The Office.
Because The Office is a lot better.
No, because it's a different format of show.
Yeah, one's cops, one's guys works in The Office. I'm sorry, listeners. I don't know why I got to bring him through this. I don't know why he doesn't understand.
I don't understand.
I just think it's the stuff like Parks and Recs is done better. And he's on Parks and Recs. And I actually loved him when he was on Parks and Recs.
Yeah, except
He was
no
fun.
matter how many times you say it, it's Parks and Rec.
What did I say, Rex?
Yeah, every single time.
Well, you have to put the S on it, right? When you're talking about it?
What's the department called?
The Parks of Recreation.
Parks and Recreation,
Mm-hmm.
not recreations.
And then they abbreviate it.
You're supposed to be good at the English, right?
You keep calling me out on that. I'm starting to think maybe I'm not. But Sandberg's mid.
Sandberg's not mid.
He can be above mid, but I rate him as mid. You love him.
I do. Joshua Jackson.
Is that Pacey?
Yeah.
I don't know. I hated him in Dawson's Creek. Hated him as an actor. Hated his face. I love him in Fringe.
How do you feel about him in Mighty Ducks?
Oh shoot, he was in Mighty Ducks. I haven't watched that movie since I
He was a star.
I haven't seen this since I was a kid. He was the main guy. All I remember is Emilio.
Yep.
Emilio.
No, he's Charlie Conway.
Emilio's not mid.
Emilio's not mid.
Out of that family, who's mid?
Ooh, out of that whole family? Is there another brother I don't know about?
It's Charlie.
Yeah, I know.
Emilio. They have another brother. He looks like Emilio, but like if you like closed one eye.
That one's for sure the one that's mid.
Okay.
Because
I don't even know his name.
Charlie's had moments where he was mid.
Okay.
Martin has never been mid.
I can't even imagine that being your dad. Holy moly. That's a shadow and a half to be stuck in.
Right.
I mean, you got to do a lot of coke to get out of that one. And Charlie tried his best.
He sure did. Who else? Thanks to Kirk, Michael Douglas is probably mid. But he's had some really good movies.
I really like Michael Douglas.
So does Catherine Zeta-Jones.
All right. Well, I don't know. What do we got going for food? Mid-food, mid-meals, mid-food groups? Let's go with that.
Just so everybody at home knows, my co-host has 5 food groups. It's hamburgers, pizza, wings.
It's actually Chinese noodles, Chinese chicken.
Oh, I was going to say just the noodles.
Chinese rice, burgers, and gummy bears. And wait. Liquid Death. I'm giving them a shout out every episode. It seems like this.
It's not a food group.
It's totally a food group.
Chinese noodles. So you couldn't come up with a noodle dish, like
Lo mein.
a name.
Lo
Okay,
mein.
so lo mein. Chinese chicken, which sounds more like Chinese checkers than an actual food product. So what chicken dish in Chinese culture do you like?
Depends on the place. I like sesame chicken.
Okay. And Chinese rice, which is
Rice. Just rice.
or are you talking about
I can't
fried
believe
rice?
I did that. I can't believe I did that because I always go after people for that. That's so funny. I
My
like the
God.
fried rice.
Okay. There we are.
And it can be vegetable or chicken. Just keep the shrimp out of it.
Right.
We don't know sea bug.
It can be.
I don't like sea bugs.
It can be vegetable as long as you've got the sesame chicken to offset the fact that it's vegetarian.
As long as it's sprinkled with gummy bears, we're good.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
It's not. It's so not mid.
No, it's below.
You're mid for not even trying it. You're always getting on me that I'm all picky about my eating. But look at you. You won't even try it.
I won't even try fried rice with gummy bears.
Yes.
If that makes me mid, then I am mid for life.
Hashtag delish.
Yeah, that's a terrible food pyramid. You really should
give me your you did a top 3 for me?
It wasn't a top 3. I just assumed those were the only 3 things you ate.
Okay. Give me a what you would rank as your top mid-range food.
Wait, top mid-range food?
So if you had to rate what food in your life you consider the most mid, what would it be? So you don't hate it, but it's not that good, but
you're gonna have to edit this a lot because I'm gonna do a lot of thinking. God,
we don't got all day. Oh my God, how much tape do I got? Jesus.
Not enough.
Yeah, that's what I thought. A lot of people say Chinese food is mid because they've never had great Chinese food, and they haven't had bad.
They got a lot of great Chinese food in Kingman.
I got one. Until I moved to the big city. Well, the best Chinese food I have ever had is in Vegas. So,
where?
There's a little place called China Tango in Henderson.
Mm.
You literally walk in and it's like a little old family making it, and they make it illegally hot. Like it's so fresh coming out that the temperature it will start fires, and it's so good. It's the best Chinese I've ever had.
So much like making beer cold, they make the food so hot so you can't even tell if it's good because your taste buds have been burned off.
Yeah, they've been burned off, but it works. And I miss it. I haven't had it in a while.
But it's so chewy, and I like things that are chewy.
Yeah, that's just me I'm tasting apparently because it's the flesh from the top of my mouth.
There goes our chance of getting you free food at, what's it called again?
China Tango.
Thank you.
They are definitely not mid. And I will fight any man that says different.
I think, as much as I don't want to say this, I think hot dogs are mid. I love hot dogs.
I ain't going to fight you on that.
But I think they're mid. Just because there's so many differing levels of quality when it comes with hot dogs.
One of those
fried shrimp.
Ugh.
Real shrimp, great. Fried shrimp, gross.
See, I was the opposite. Only shrimp I ever liked was fried shrimp because it tasted close to a chicken.
Because your last name's Messersmith, and the other 2 food groups that I forgot were fried anything and fried anything.
So you fry anything, it's going to taste all right. You fried broccoli and you're fine.
Fried broccoli is delicious.
Oh, ugh. I tried a deep fried Twinkie once.
Yeah.
Ugh. Regretted that instantly.
Octopus, like it's cool to say you ate it, but it's pretty mid. It's just a lot of chewing. That's not true. If you do it really right, like if you do Spanish style octopus, it can be pretty fantastic if you like braise it. But octopus sushi is definitely mid.
I had octopus once. Nothing stuck to my mouth, so I was like, I'm good. I'm good.
Like it latched onto your face?
The little piece, like...
You're supposed to kill it first. You know that, right?
What? It's sushi. It's fresh.
Yeah, fresh doesn't mean not dead.
What are you talking about? I thought it was dead. Their little legs keep moving when they're dead. You didn't know that?
You know what I've realized is mid the older I've gotten, and you're going to disagree with this, I feel like. Mashed potatoes are mid.
Ooh.
There's so many good sides that aren't mashed potatoes.
But mashed potatoes with a bucket of gravy on it, it just...
Then you're not eating mashed potatoes. You're just... Why does everything have to be blazing hot? Do you not understand how food works?
Well, we like cold mashed potatoes?
No, nobody needs cold.
Out of your mind.
Nobody needs cold mashed potatoes.
You are out of your mind.
No, my point is, if you have something blazing hot, you can't taste it. Just like if it's ice cold. We were doing a beer class at work this week for one of the other branches of our company, and we were explaining to them, because they use frozen glasses, why you don't do that.
Why don't you do that?
Because it kills flavor. It's why Budweiser, Coors, Miller are all really excited to put out lagers. Now, for a lager, a cold glass is pretty proper.
That's what I thought.
Because they're fermented at 30, 32 degrees. So you're putting them in the same temperature glass that they would be fermented at. But they are also very happy with that because something very cold kills all of the flavor that would be in it. So you can't tell that their beer is bad, so you drink more of it.
Well, I'll be dipped in shit. I just learned something.
Yeah. But definitely for ales, which are fermented at higher temperatures, it does even more damage to those to use cold glasses because you really are trying to taste those flavors and they just disappear.
See, I don't want to hear anybody ever say you can't learn anything from these podcasts that we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least one of us is bringing some knowledge into this place.
Somebody's got to.
Well, maybe that tattoo I got didn't work.
Probably not.
Do we need to update them on my tattoo?
No.
All right.
Especially because it doesn't exist.
It's gonna.
Sure.
If you haven't caught the other episode, I'm going to get a tattoo with my lower back of a wizard shoveling books into my butt crack.
Speaking of,
Because
I don't
that's
know.
knowledge.
I don't know how I could possibly correctly segue from that.
He's gonna.
I am. We went paddleboarding today,
Mhm.
and we came up on this pair of guys. I won't call them gentlemen because they were not. And one was paddling and one was kayaking with his dog. The one that was kayaking with his dog was pretty nice, but the paddleboarder was kind of a douche. But expected douche because he had a tramp stamp, just like you want to get. Well, it wasn't a wizard shoveling books, but same diff. And I laughed because tramp stamps, though embarrassing anyway, are even more embarrassing just north of the butt crack of a man.
And in case anybody didn't know what tramp stamp was, it's when you get a tattoo on your lower back, right above
The
the old
only
buttocks.
acceptable tramp stamp is
A target?
No, the phrase. Well, maybe the only other acceptable tramp stamp is the phrase "poor decisions" because that's what you made when you decided to get it.
I'm okay if somebody puts a couple dimples down there.
No
right?
regrets.
No regrets. That's great. That's from was that Vacation?
It was.
Or We're the
I
Millers?
remember it from a commercial.
Oh.
The guy's getting tattooed, but the tattoo artist misspells it. It says "no regrets."
Yeah, it's a whole scene in is it We Are the Millers, the one with
Jennifer Aniston and
Lasso?
Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah. And his daughter brings her boyfriend on, and he looks like Kid Rock, and he's got regrets written on there.
But it says regrets.
No, it says regrets or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a classic scene.
Yeah, then maybe.
So I don't think we talked about this tattoo thing before on a former podcast or episode, but I don't know if I actually told you the real life in the wild, the worst tramp stamp tattoo I've ever seen. And it was in Kingman. You ready for this one?
I mean, you had a lot of options, so go ahead.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
I don't want to get too far away from Kid Rock, so remind me to get back to that.
It was a young male who was walking around with his no shirt and the boxers pulled up or the briefs pulled up and the pants,
sagging.
Yeah, right below the crotch. And he was giving it his best, and he turned around and he had a tramp stamp, and it was of a revolver or a gun right on the tramp stamp thing, tucked in, like as if you were going to put your gun in the back of your pants.
Like barrel down crack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we might need to take a break and let that settle.
We get those done? Anyway, so not to get too far away from Kid Rock. This morning as we're driving out, I listened to Amazon Music's 90s rock playlist thing. And it started with Bawadaba, which I don't know how to say it other than that.
That's pretty close.
Okay. And I just want to admonish anybody in our crowd that listens to or enjoys Kid Rock after having heard that as the first song, because holy jumping Jesus Christ, that song is terrible. It is terrible. Every part of it, the music, the lyrics, maybe the video. I don't know. I haven't seen the video, the non-video, just hearing it, all of it. Like it's so bad.
I remember the video was pretty over the top.
And he made that song and then somehow made a career out of making that song.
So his career, I guess that made him, but all his other songs were other people's songs. Like he took Sad But True from Metallica and basically just played that and then screamed American Jesus. Or
Yeah,
whatever
at
on top
least
of it.
Limp Bizkit, equally terrible, was original with their
Original
song
music
choice.
that was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think Nookie's mid?
I think, yes, of course I think Nookie's mid.
I think Nookie's great. The song Nookie is beyond mid.
Oh.
But
You just
there's
meant-
nothing wrong with Nookie.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not mid.
Nookie's cake, right? It's like
Sure?
lemon flavored cake.
No, I think it just refers to sex in general, not the ass area.
Oh, sex. So gummy bears. Okay. I'm good. I'm with you.
Wait, I am so confused. What are you putting on your fried rice?
Putting Nookie with a side of green gummy bears.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, Nookie, anything by Limp Bizkit was mid. Anything by Kid Rock just aspires to be mid.
Biscuit was huge.
Huge.
Like they were so huge.
They were so big that people bought like Cincinnati Reds baseball caps just because they were red so they could wear a backwards red hat.
And lots of white bras wearing red hats. Yeah, that was rough. And technically, I mean, musically and stuff, they actually did stuff that wasn't too bad. They had a little bit of talent in there, but my God, they're touring again, and even the lead singer Fred Durst, he even admits how awful they were. But he rode that all the way to the bank, and he's riding it again to the bank.
Are they calling it the Viagra tour because they're not limp anymore? It's just Bizkit. That'd be hilarious. The Viagra tour.
Ooh, so we're gonna lean into getting that Viagra sponsorship now, right?
Blue Pillet.
Blue Pillet. Viagra is definitely not mid, especially if you take a pill.
You go from mid. Never mind.
Yeah, we can cut that part. Ugh. When I look up mid on Urban Dictionary, it's like Urban Dictionary is like our third person of this podcast. You find the obvious definitions that we brought up, but one of them brings up mid-grade weed. So I guess maybe you would use mid for when you're the caliber of what
when you got that high class shit.
The Kush.
The Kush.
You got that tropical pineapple.
When there's no cushion for the
Kush.
smoking, it's mid. Interestingly, when I was looking it up earlier, there was something that brought up wrestling. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was American professional wrestler Maxwell Friedman seemed to spark a particular interest in the expression after he roasted the Midwest on AEW. And once I get to what I said earlier will make more sense. It's called the Midwest because everything in it is mid.
English language.
You know what we should do? New hashtag, people. Club Mid.
Club Mid? Oh, it just sounds so weird.
So for all those things you deem to be mid, you need to follow it with the hashtag Club Mid.
Okay, we can do that.
Because Lord knows nobody's hashtagging Club Med anymore. Does Club Med even exist anymore?
You know, I don't know. I know we're getting really good at hashtags, though.
Well, really good, maybe a little bit over the top.
You created the best hashtag I've ever heard. You should probably let the people know about it.
Which one? It's not a tuna?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not a tuna. It's not bad, but it's not just a hashtag. It's a way of life. And it's not just a way of life. It's also a handle on the Instagram that you can look up if you haven't already. If you want to learn some things about fish or things that sound like fish that aren't tuna. If you remember one Arnold Schwarzenegger from the movie Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, man, do I.
He may have told a child that it was not a tumor.
No. How would he say it?
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
And so if you find an account on the Instagram called It's Not a Tuna with the face that he's making as he's screaming, it's not a tuna. Click, subscribe, learn more about fish that aren't tuna.
I want to learn more about fish. Another fun word, mid. I don't like it. I don't hate it. It's mid.
Yeah. That's fair. It is a word that somehow is encapsulated by itself. It is the most meta slang term ever because it is a word that somehow describes itself.
Yeah. And by the time this podcast episode actually makes it out, it might actually not even be a thing anymore. I think it's one of those that'll burn itself out pretty quick.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think you're wrong.
Well, you think a lot of things wrong.
I think most of the things you say are wrong.
That's so mid. Can truth be mid?
I mean, if the truth is unexciting, sure.
The truth is out there. I know that.
Is it?
Come on,
What do you think?
X-Files? X-Files?
Yeah, what do you think Duchovny's doing these days? You think he's still hand modeling?
I hope so.
Yeah, same.
You should do hand modeling.
No,
Yeah. You should hand model guys who eat hot dogs.
that's the worst thing that you could have possibly said to me.
Okay, girls who eat hot dogs. What do you got against guys eating hot dogs?
That is
Not that there's anything
$9.95
wrong
a
with
month.
that.
The point is, no. Check me out on OnlyFans.
The point is, we love doing this. Thank you for being here, everybody. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Matt, and I just want to remind all of you, you're not mid. We love you all. Except you.
Yeah, you're totally mid. Yeah. Why don't you turn off your headphones right now?
Or your car stereo. Probably listen to it in the car.
Yeah. The rest
Like a
of you are
real
great,
mid.
though. We love the rest of you. Come back again, please, please, please.
Please?
Should I say please one more time?
Please.
All right. Peace out, people. All right, that's a dumb joke. All right. Thanks for sticking with me, though. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. You bought me Squirt. I have to go along with all your jokes today.
The Mexican squirt, dude.
Squirt. I don't know how to say it with an accent. El Squirt.
El Squirto?
I don't think that sounds okay.
Yeah, El Squirto. That's one of those Pokemons, isn't it? El Squirto?
I don't know.
I'm going to AI El Squirto and see what comes up.
I never caught them all, so I have no idea. I never caught one, let alone them all.
No. You caught El Herpio.
I did not catch that.
El Clapo?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Thought we'd get you on that one.
No STDs for me. Maybe a little STP, but no STDs.